What's going on, guys? Sam here, and I'm going to be covering my Phantasm Spiral deck for the June 2020 format. I feel like this deck is really affordable, really fun, kind of can play an anti-meta type strategy against a lot of the popular decks out there. And it's been a deck that has had success in the past over the last year or so. So I figured, let's try to update it and kind of do a little bit of a twist with it to tailor it to the current format. So let's get into the profile. Alright, for our monsters, we're playing 3 Neos Alias and 2 Elemental Hero Sparkman. You may be wondering why we're playing heroes. I decided to take advantage of the fact that we have E Emergency Call, along with a few other options here, such as the 3 Honest Neos, to kind of beat over a lot of threats that we normally wouldn't be able to handle with this deck, especially since we're going first deck. If we end up going second in game 1 where it's really rough, this allows us to potentially beat over some of the more problematic boss monsters that we don't have a way to kind of handle. And that's it for all the monsters that we run. We only run 8. For the spells, we're running 3 Pacifist, the Phantasm City. This is why we're playing the deck. It allows us to kind of take advantage of our opponent's monster effects and what they're doing on their turn, along with giving us some more hand traps with our own traps. Then we're also playing 1 Skyscraper. This allows us to, again, take advantage of more of the hero cards and be able to pump up our guys even more when going into, somewhat tough situations. It's also a second field spell because we do play the 1 set rotation along with the terraforming to search all of this out. This gives us quite a few ways to get into our pacifists, and just again a different option to have for set rotation also, if we need to swap it out with the pacifist to kind of beat over things. Next, we're playing 3 E Emergency Call in the 1 Rhoda. Rhoda gets all of our level 4s, and then E Emergency Call gets every monster in our deck, so these 2 cards here are just really great. Part of the reason, again, I wanted to run the heroes is because of this. This gives us a way to get into our normal monster at a much faster rate. For our draw spells, we're playing 1 Card of Demise and 3 Pot of Desires. I'm just playing this suite right now. I will be playing Extravagance depending on the price once Toon Chaos comes out. But for now, I want to keep this deck around $100, give or take. It's actually, I believe, only around $75 if you get lowest rarities. So that's main, extra, and side deck. It's really affordable, which is another reason I want to kind of highlight it, especially since we're just now easing our way out of quarantine. So that way, you don't know how many tournaments you're going to be able to play in, so investing a ton of money into certain decks may not be the best option for a lot of people, and this gives them a cheap option to kind of play this format. So that was it for our spells. For our traps, we're running 3 Phantasm Spiral Battle, 2 Phantasm Spiral Power. This one allows us to pop things, and this one negates monster effects. They both work as hand traps if we have the Pacifist out and only a normal monster, which all we're playing is normal monsters, besides the Honest Neos. But if we're summoning that, well, I mean, the game has already gone awry. But these cards are really great. They are just, free interaction if we go first a lot of times, and in general, being able to negate effects is really great. I have seen a lot of lists opt not to play this, but I think that it's really integral right now, just being able to fight back against some of the better effect monsters out there right now. And then just being able to pop something from hand for free, it's pretty great. Next, we're playing 3 Solemn Judgment. This being at 3 is huge for this deck because it gives us more ways to fight back against some of the more problematic cards out there, along with 3 Solemn Strike. Stopping special summoning is pretty great, and yeah, just this suite of Solemns are really great. Next, we're playing 3 Dark Bride. This kind of protects our pacifist and is just general spell negation, which we do need in this deck. And for our last 2 traps, we're playing Skill Drain. We're playing primarily normal monsters, and this can just win the game against everything else in the format. And then the 1 Metaverse to search out our field spells if needed. So that's it for the main deck. It is 40 cards. For our side deck, we're running 2 Inspector Border. If we're going first, this card can just be a house. It can win the game by itself. It is a huge beater. It's just really all around an incredible card, but it isn't a liability if we do end up going second, which is why I opted to side 2 of them. We have the 3rd Cosmic Cyclone for Eldritch and more back row based decks. Necro Valley to be another set rotation target and to shut off graveyard effects, especially in matchups where we don't need to beat over with Skyscraper. Something I'm trying out to keep this list kind of affordable. I'm playing the 3 Dark Hole and the 1 Raigeki. This allows us to nuke boards going second if we need to. They can play through 1 or 2 negates, but typically if we can open 2 of these, 3 of these, we also have a lot of card draw. To get into more of these, we can kind of blow up the board and hopefully, you know, exhaust their resources that way by having just a plethora of options to nuke. Next, we're playing 3 Waking the Dragon. We bring these in for game 2 and 3 because usually once they see what we're playing, they'll bring in back row hate. If they pop this, it allows us to pop out some of our big threats that you'll see in the extra deck. Next, we're playing the 1 Imperial Order. It's an auto win against certain decks, and being able to negate all of the spell effects for those decks is pretty incredible. The 700 life point payment is very marginal, so it's good to run 2 of those. Along with the 2 anti-spell. These are here for the same reason, just shutting down spell-based decks. And the last card we're running is Red Reboot. This helps against, you know, Eldritch and a few of the other kind of trap-based decks. Alright, so now let's get into the extra deck. We're running the 1 Gem Knight Pearl. More often than not, you're going to make this because it's an old monster and it's a 2600 beater. It's really great. And not being a hero is relevant, so sometimes it's better to stick with your 2 other level 4 monsters. But if you need a bigger beater that's harder to get over, just, you know, pop him out and you get to still use your effects of your Phantasm Spiral cards. 1 Baguska, 1 Castile, 2 Dweller, and the 1 Tornado Dragon. These are just kind of general good rank 4s to make for this deck. They all have, you know, various effects that can handle stuff, you know, pop back row, negate stuff, you know, shuffle things back and whatnot. These cards are just, you know, here for general options to have. You don't go into your extra deck very often, but when you do, they're nice to be here. We're playing the Exciton Knight. Being able to nuke the board if we need to is a great option. We're playing the 1 Cowboy, in case we need to win in time. 1 Utopia, and 1 Utopia the Lightning. You can run the double or nothing engine with this deck, but I didn't really want to put that card into the main deck because I just didn't feel like we were getting very far with that. So I just kind of stuck with the old Utopia the Lightning, and it's been working well. You know, it can randomly beat over things if we need to. For our links, we're running the 1 Nightmare Cerberus, and the 1 Phoenix, being able to pop special summon monsters, and then obviously pop back row. If we ever get there, we do have the 1 Boral Sword. If I'm going to run a rank 4, or a link 4, this is just one of the better options I wanted to have. It's more affordable than cards like Appaloosa and whatnot, and this card can just go for OTKs and go for game. So, you know, if you're going to run something that you don't go into often, it's good to be the 1 card that can kind of win you the game. And for our last 2 cards, we're running Ultimate Falcon and 1 Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. So these 2 cards are here for Waking the Dragon. This card is obviously the one you're going to go into more often than not. It's just an unanswerable 3500 threat. But again, with cards like Infinite Track, Megaclops, and a few other options out there that are just huge monsters, sometimes it's better to go into the Blue Eyes because you get to keep your Phantasm Spiral effects, and it's just huge. 4500 allows us to beat over, you know, Ultimate Conductor, Tyranno, Megaclops, you know, an Eldritch with a boost, whatever. Things like that. So these are kind of the cards I'm working with right now. So that's it for the deck profile. I did forget that the Gyarados is here for Phantasm Spiral tokens. Just kind of looks like a cool card, so I like to use it. Tell me what you think about the deck. Remember to check out my links down below to my Instagram, Patreon, and I also do have a BLK Water affiliate link if you do want a little bit of a discount there. I do get a little bit of a kickback, so it's pretty great. It saves you money and gives me a little bit of extra to use for buying more cards and recording better videos in the future. But again, thanks for watching.